like disease presents itself, we take it as just another thing life is thrown our way, and even though we don't know to change, we know we need to change our diets, we still don't. Even though we may not be comfortable in our own skin, we may be overweight, suffering from skin conditions, we still don't change our diets. So what do? We rely heavily on medications and often opt for surgery. We do everything we possibly can to avoid the fact that we need to change what it is that we're eating. We try to cover it up, we buy new clothes, we wear makeup. We just avoid the fact that we need to change what we're eating. So I need you to really understand something. The particles that make up the food we eat get distributed to our cells. So we eat food and we take in vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbs, fats, and fibers. And each cell in our body, and we have billions of them, are all like little brains. They remember. So when we eat food, it goes into our blood cells, our brain cells, our fat cells, our lung cells, and our cells are literally composed of the foods that we eat. So not only do our cells remember the makeup of the food that we eat, but they also remember the feelings that we were feeling when we ate the food. Has anybody ever told you not to eat when you're angry? Have you ever heard that? Okay. What's our energy like when we're angry? When you go near somebody who's not in a good mood, you tend to feel that energy. It like kind of pushes you back. You just don't want to be near them. Energy is everything. And that's one of the biggest issues that we have when we eat outside the home. We have no idea who's preparing our food and the state of mind they're in when they're touching our food. If we can sense the energy of an angry person, then you better believe that the energy of the person preparing your food is going to be transmuted into the food that you're going to eat. So you can eat a meal today, and tomorrow you might feel sad or angry for no apparent reason. The fluctuations in our moods are partly the result of the energy that has been transmuted into the food that we eat by the people preparing them. When you go into a restaurant and you walk in, it's a nice atmosphere, you're greeted, everything's clean, everybody's happy, and you're feeling good. How many of you have ever walked into a restaurant and asked to go see their kitchen? It wasn't until I did that I said, I'm not eating out anymore. At least not from certain places and not as much as I have. Because the back of the kitchen doesn't look anything like the front of the restaurant. People are stressed. It is not a fun environment, especially during lunchtime, dinner time, holidays. It's a very hectic place. And all those people that are preparing the food, they're not in the best state of mind to be touching anybody's food, okay? So, going back to blood cells. So we produce brand new blood cells every single second. And the good news is that it's never too late to start eating the right foods and embedding those new cells with better memories. That way, when our body is ready to use those cells, they can work in harmony with our systems instead of fighting against them and creating disease. Okay, by a show of hands, who here has ever done a cleanse? Awesome. I'm a big supporter of cleansing because we pile so much into our systems. Our digestive systems almost never catch up. And it's my opinion that if done properly and for the right reasons, cleansing can absolutely change and improve the quality of your life. So for many people who undergo a longer-term cleanse, say anywhere from 10 days to 3 to 4 weeks or longer, at some point, they tend to experience what's called a healing crisis. During cleansing, you can usually tell when a healing crisis is coming, and it usually lasts anywhere from a few hours to a couple of days. Mainly, during a healing crisis, you experience some pain, mostly in the abdominals, because 70% of all of our digestion takes place in our intestines. So, building up to the expression of a healing crisis, you may experience varying emotions. 1 minute you may be excited and happy about life, and in another minute you may be sad, angry, or depressed. Part of the reason for this crisis is because on most cleanses you don't eat solid food. So a part of you is upset and mad at yourself for putting yourself through such a torturous experience. And the other part of the healing crisis is when your body starts to release the toxins in cells, primarily fat cells, that contain some of the foods you ate in the past and the emotions you were feeling while and around the times you ate them. So if you're an emotional eater going through a cleanse, your healing crisis may be very emotional. It all comes flooding back into your bloodstream in order to now be digested and released from your body. Hence the word cleanse. So when we eat too much or too much of the wrong foods, our body cannot keep up with processing. So imagine, let's imagine for a second, let's say Natalie, thank you Natalie, we'll use Natalie. Say Natalie had to put on this entire event literally by herself, do every component of this event by herself. She had to physically take the registrations by hand, write you confirmations, emails, and put them in the physical mailbox. Come here, set up all the chairs, set up all of your products here on all the tables. When everybody comes, Natalie checks you in. She seats everybody. She stands up here. She does all the talks. It's just impossible. One person cannot do all those things. So what do you think Natalie would do? She would have no choice when there's a group of people at the door to say, okay, ladies, you hold on. You ladies stand over here, you guys stand over here, and mostly you're going to be hanging around, find something to do, but when I can get to you, that's when I'll get to you, okay? That, my friends, is pretty much what fat is. It's unprocessed energy that hasn't had the chance to be used because either there's too much or the body doesn't recognize what it is. So, as we eat, and we pile in all the food, and we keep eating, just like all the people that keep lining up at the door, our one digestive system, which would be Natalie, places the food in various parts of the body until it can get to it. So we have some pancakes over here, we got some chicken wings back here, French fries up under the arms, and we all know where the muffins go. And that's how we end up with stores of fat. So during cleansing, instead of using the fat supply as energy, we just dump it out in large amounts, literally. It's like taking the groups of people out and just sending them on their way because Natalie can't deal with it. She can't. And if she tries, then she's probably going to stress herself out and hurt herself because she's trying to take on too much at one time. And that's exactly what our bodies do, and that's how we create disease. Because we're trying to process everything at one time, and the system gets overloaded, and it just can't handle it. It's just not possible. Now, I'm not suggesting that everybody run out and do a cleanse. You have to be very careful with cleansing, and either do a lot of research first or talk to a health coach about which cleansing method is best for you. The same way there's no one way of eating that works for everybody, there's no one way to do a cleanse that works for everybody. You have the master cleanse, you have juicing, you have all kinds of different cleanses, and it determines how you are as a person and what your lifestyle is will determine the best form of cleansing for you. So what happens after a healing crisis? Well, you're usually physically and emotionally exhausted. And most people quit their cleanse when the symptoms of a healing crisis kick in because it's too much. They interrupt and stop the cleanse and go back to their habitual way of eating. A healing crisis is usually followed by a very large, burning, painful poop. And then what happens? You feel like a brand new person. So, how do we start to change the way we eat in order to accommodate the changes we deal with in life and move forward as professionals? How can we create a new body and develop a new mindset towards food? Now, I won't go into specifics about food and talk about lettuce and tomatoes and all those things. What you should eat, how much, and when. That's a whole nother conversation. And you pretty much have an idea of what you should and should not be eating. Your body tells you what you should and should not be eating. The way your body tells you is if you eat something that doesn't agree with you, sometimes we either gain weight, we break out in skin rashes, we have acne and things like that, we have an upset stomach, and that's our body's way of reflecting our food choices and informing us that a change has to be made. Now, I'm going to give you 6 lifestyle and food tips that will help alter the way you look at food and your body. And by remembering these 6 tips, you'll feel more confident about your body and its abilities and feel more in control when it comes to food. So tip 1 is, ladies, please stop comparing yourself to other women.
Amen.
Look around. There's at least 50 women in this room. And with everyone you meet, everyone is different. If you compare yourself to others, you will always come out inferior. There will always be someone who is more attractive, has more money, has smarter children, has a nicer house, or a happier marriage. We all have different backgrounds and different personalities. And there's nothing wrong with picking and choosing the qualities that you see in other women that you would like to have for yourself. But to put yourself down because someone else has or is something that you aren't will never help you become your best possible self. At the end of the day, just be yourself. It's not even possible to be anyone else. And in addition to that, we need to stop idolizing celebrities. Okay? Do you know how much money goes into tricking us into believing that this is what they look like all the time? It's a false standard. And we need to stop convincing ourselves that we need to buy the latest products or even undergo surgery to achieve these results. Celebrities are normal people, just like us, who work hard, and it just so happens to be that their job is to be beautiful in front of the camera. Off camera, they look just like us. So we all want to be attractive and feel and look our best. So do it. Don't get discouraged by the way other people look. You can only be your best possible version of yourself. Okay. So it is absolutely possible to look and feel our best no matter how old we are and no matter how many children we have, which leads me into tip number 2. Pregnancy does not equal hopeless. Okay, so all the moms, raise your hand again. Wow, okay. So this is me when I was 8 months pregnant with my last son in 2010. He was huge, and so was I. He was. It was like, Veronica, you remember. He was humongous. So I literally had to carry my stomach around. I even had a dream that my stomach broke off and he fell out because he was so heavy and I could not carry him. He was just huge. And he came 2 weeks early, so had I gone full term, he would have been like almost 10.5 pounds. Oh my goodness. So in regards to comparing yourself to other women, that includes comparing yourself to who you were before you had children. Let it go. You will never, ever, ever have that body again. So, I just want to show you a few slides of women who had children, and they got their bodies into good shape afterwards. And yes, pregnancy does a wicked number on our bodies. Our bodies are stretched and disproportionate and manipulated into shapes that our children do not learn about on Sesame Street. But it's absolutely possible to change that with a healthy diet. And yes, sometimes we do get discouraged because it does take time to get back into shape after having a baby. But the good news is, with healthy eating and exercise, it's absolutely possible to get into even better shape than you were before you had children. Okay. So by the age of 44, 80% of women have children. So dealing with post-pregnancy bodies is a common issue. It's difficult to raise our children and stay in shape. If you're nursing, you're probably sitting down a lot, and we're running around trying to take our kids here, take them there. We're eating on the run, and our health takes we put it on the back burner so that we can take care of our babies, especially newborns. So what we do as health coaches is we work specifically with moms to help create that balance and get their bodies into shape. We help women focus on their hopes and dreams because we lose ourselves when we're moms. We forget that we had goals, right? And we still help women focus on being an individual in addition to being a mom. So it can be very stressful, and as health coaches, we're here to support you. Women need a lot of support, period. We're so busy taking care of everybody else. Who takes care of us? When you get sick, who takes care of you? Probably you, right? So what we do as health coaches is we literally support women especially. So tip number 3, stop stressing. Stop stressing, especially about food. Stress compromises your health. It's a contributing factor to high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Stress prevents the body from functioning normally. It increases negative emotions and triggers emotional eating. And it also increases the likelihood of addictive behaviors such as drinking, smoking, and binging. So a lot of people tell you, try not to stress, but they don't tell you how to relax. So what we do as health coaches is we help you implement stress reduction techniques into your everyday life that are feasible and sustainable so that you can continue to do them throughout the whole time your children are growing up. Tip number 4 is keep educating yourself. Read labels. How many of you in here read labels when you purchase products? Okay. Understanding the ingredients that you read on those labels is very important. And we have typical rules that we follow. If you cannot pronounce it, you should not eat it because your body cannot recognize what it is. And if you can't pronounce it, it's probably been created in laboratory intentionally to have it taste good and have you become addicted to it. We also want to learn about genetically modified foods. How many of you in here are familiar with GMOs? Good. That's a whole other conversation, but learn about it. Write it down. Learn about GMOs. Learn about it, and understand what they are so that you can understand what you're eating and how it's going to affect your body, your children's bodies, and your children's children's bodies. Yes.
On Facebook, I had somebody post something on my Facebook page. It was a picture of a corn on the cob. On one side, it was a GMO, genetically modified corn, and on the other side, it was an organic cob corn. And they put it out for the animals to eat. At the end of, I think, a day, the organic one was completely gone. But the GMO, 90% of it was still there. They would not touch the genetically modified corn at all.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, animals have stronger instincts than we do. And if we had the same instincts that animals did, we would not eat probably 90% of the foods that we eat. Now, talking about GMOs, a lot of the big corporations that we see that we have been brainwashed by because we're constantly bombarded with all their advertising, they use a lot of genetically modified ingredients, particularly corn, soy, canola oil, things of that nature. Now I'm going to touch specifically on cereal really quick. Box cereal that we feed our kids, Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios, Chex, all those cereals do contain genetically modified ingredients in them. Cereal itself goes through a process that's called extrusion. So what they do is they put the grains, whether it's rice or corn or wheat, into a big thing and they add water to it, and they heat it up at very high temperatures to squeeze out the little O's and the flakes and things like of that nature. Now our bodies cannot recognize what that is, and there is absolutely no nutritional benefit to cereal. Because of the high temperature that cereal is cooked at, that's when they fortify it and add in all the vitamins and nutrients. Okay? There have been studies done where rats have been given cereal and the box that the cereal came in. And the rats have preferred to eat the box rather than eat the cereal itself. So, learn about your food and where it comes from, think for yourself and ignore advertisements. And health coaches are great sources for knowledge about food and ingredients. Tip number 5, stop wasting money. Fad diets, pills, potions, creams, just like get-rich-quick schemes, they don't work. Tip number 6, start now. Start making better choices now. Don't wait until 2 weeks before your vacation or a big event to decide that you need to lose weight or you need to get in shape. If you start now, there's no need for crash dieting. Being healthy is a lifestyle. It's not a quick fix. And if you need help and you find yourself struggling, yo-yo dieting and things like that, then seek support. Health coaches can help you implement small, reasonable goals that help you feel good about accomplishing on a daily basis to transform your lifestyle. So, really quickly, I'm going to talk about health coaching. What is health coaching? I'll tell you what it's not. We're not affiliated with any network marketing companies, no Herbalife, no Beachbody. That is not what health coaches do. We're not nutritionists or dietitians. There are no restrictive diets or food lists. And unlike traditional psychotherapy, health coaching programs do have an end date, where you can expect that by the end of your program, you will have a solution to many of your health problems.